Okay, I seem to have a lot of smiling faces. Ben seems to have patience. We have 20 minutes, so I'll try to get it done in 7 or 8. We'll see what happens, okay? So I'm in Europe. I'm leaving Europe, coming back from the Biversity that we did in Gießen, Germany. And when I get home, what I'm going to be encountering is a couple of people from Utah. One is a midwife, and the other is just the guy who's the father of her children, this, that, and the other. And we were going to do this thing on herbal midwifery, okay? And so they were going to stay with us for a couple of days, and then had 2 children, so they were going to find a place of their own, but we were having such a good time, we didn't want them to go, so they stayed, okay? And afterwards they said, you know, you've done so much for us, we'd like to do something for you. We're both astrologers, we'd like to do your astrological reading if you like. I said, sure, why not? Let's see what you got, all right? So at any rate, they do this, and we get what we get from it. It's a beautiful thing, astrology is. It's part of human design, understand. It's not astrology, but it is an aspect of astrology, okay? So at any rate, I say, okay, well, if you are interested in such things, you may enjoy what I do and where I just came back from. And he says, sure. So I'm going to pull up his design chart. Brigitte does hers and I do his. And when I put this design chart on the floor, he jumped up like a cat backwards. Where did you find that? What is that? I've seen that before. Where did you get that? And I said, well, it seems that you're having quite a reaction to what you're seeing. He said, I certainly am. And so I'm going to try to make this short. There's a big story. But at any rate, he says, wait a minute. And he runs downstairs, he goes out to his van, and he gets a book that he and his wife had written together. And it's called Conscious Conception. All right? Remember, she's a midwife. This man was on his way to Israel. He was in the Mediterranean on a ship heading towards Israel, and the Israeli war broke out. So all ships were told, if you come into our waters, we will sink you. We are at war. Okay? I'm trying to remember his name. I'll remember it in a moment. Anyway, he was on a ship. They were docked in Formentera. Formentera. Think about that. Formentera, terra, the land, meant for Ra. He was there, docked there, and he was a 5'1", totally individual person like Ra, total freak, 5'1", and he's sitting on this boat with nowhere to go, and all of a sudden he starts hearing this loud noise in his head. He's totally individual. This is very disturbing to him. Individuals live in acoustical realms, okay? And this noise is happening. So he gets off the boat and he goes, this little piece of land is just a sandbar. It's a couple of blocks wide and about a half a mile long. So he starts walking on the thing to find out where the noise is coming from. And he notices no matter how far he goes one way or the other way, the noise never gets softer and it never gets louder. And all of a sudden it dawned on him, it's not coming from the outside. It's inside. It's inside his head. But it was driving him mad. So he went out to the farthest tip of the sandbar and screamed at the top of his lungs, primal scream, stop! It stopped. It stopped. Ra was not given the same choice. This was happening at the same time Ra was getting the information. Formentera is 13 kilometers away from Ibiza, where Ra was. So they were both over water. They were both getting this information. So when he saw that design chart, he went down and got into his van and came up with this book called Conscious Conception. Turn to page 88. That's significant, 88 degrees. Turn to page 88. And here was this image of everything except for the I Ching of a human design chart that he had drawn. It didn't have it had the astrology wheel around it, but it did not have the I Ching. So he was not given all of it. when he screamed stop, it stopped. Ra was not given that choice. That's why Ra called it rape. Ra didn't have a choice. All right. So to make a very long story short, I'm in Decent, and I'm telling this story to Jürgen. Jürgen's the guy that talked Ra out of the tree, the 6'2", who had the human design in Germany and talked Ra out of the tree and got him to come into Germany and talk to a bunch of geneticists about what this thing was, because Jürgen recognized it as having a genetic potential or connection. And so when I was telling Jürgen the story, Jürgen jumps up like a cat backwards and says, I can't believe you're telling me this. I can't believe you're telling me this. I said, Jürgen, obviously you're responding to something quite profoundly. Would you like to tell me what's got you so animated? He says, I've been trying to get Ra to go to Formentera with me ever since I've known him, and he won't step on that place. He says, no way, I'm not going there. He said, there's something too strong there. I barely survived what I did survive, and I'm not stepping on that land. Formentera, the land meant for Ra. You can't make these kind of stories up. Rico Baker was the name of the other guy who got human design. He had it on a book that he had written that he brought up and showed me. Everything, he had the chart, he had the design chart, he had everything there, the astrology wheel, just didn't have the genetics. He wasn't strong enough to put up with it. He was a little skinny, red-headed, white guy, and he was just blown away, and he screamed, stop, and it stopped. But he got it. So there you go. There may be others. But what's the likelihood that a redneck from Pensacola, Florida, living in Boulder, Colorado, would meet two people who had the same experience? Can't make this stuff up, folks. So that's the short version of the story. Sometime maybe I'll record with Ben the whole story. There's a little bit of that story in the things that Ben and I did. The first 4 videos we did, there's a little bit of that story in there. I said, well, Ra's not the only person who got it. He was just the person arrogant enough and strong enough to put it out into the world and survive it. But it came at a cost to Ra. He was a much stronger person before that. You know, I used to carry his briefcase for him because the briefcase was too heavy for him to carry. It came at a physical cost to him. He got over it. But Jürgen Sopp, the person whose house I was staying in, I told him that story about Rico Baker, and he just flipped out. So at any rate, that's the short version. Maybe we'll have to do a long version of that then, because it's a very, very, very fascinating story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. I don't know you guys, but I really like listening Tom sharing stories. And the man is born under the cross of migration. So migrating all around the world, he met the 2 people who got the voice. I mean, how it's incredible, right? And yeah, and Ra stayed 2 years, correct? 2 years in the tree, and not living in a tree house, but like in a chair. He put a chair in the tree and he sat in the chair, and he was terrified of coming down the tree because he was terrified of the voice, right?
Mad as a hatter is what he said. I was mad as a hatter. And so what he was trying to do, and the reason Jürgen ran into him, because Jürgen been all over the world, he's been everywhere, and he would go to Ibiza to relax all the time. And he went to Ibiza one time, and there was this guy up in a tree, and he was screaming at the sky and taking all these papers and throwing them on the ground. Jürgen picked up some of the papers and said, who are you? What is this? You know what Ra said? Go away. It took him 2 years to get him to come down. He said, look, this is important. He said, well, you go teach it. Leave me alone. Okay, he did not want this. He was the reluctant messenger, very reluctant messenger. And Jürgen, persistent, 6'2", wouldn't take no for an answer. He said, you get down here. I have to talk to you. And finally, they went to Germany. And when Ra found out that other people were impressed with this, he said, oh, there must be something to it. He didn't know. Because he was trying to get it out of his head. He had an implant put in his head. He was trying to get it out of his head. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, and he was terrified. Yeah, he was terrified about it. Like and he was so like, he was a strategic and very logical person. So like talking about some sort of spirituality or having an experience with a voice. I remember him one day, you know, he was sitting and giving lectures, and he was like, I mean, I'm telling people a voice came to me. What an experience, you know? So he was terrified of doing design in the world, especially when people were asking him, but where does it come from? He was terrified of saying, well, a voice just came and gave me the information. So that's why he didn't want to have that.
He didn't want to be considered a woo-woo.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to be another new age guru. And when people started imitating his voice when they were speaking to him, he would get so freaking angry. He said, I'm not your goddamn guru. Don't you dare imitate me. Speak with your own voice or shut the fuck up. That's about as polite as he would get under those circumstances. If you go look at your throat, you see what voices you're speaking with. And if you have the 1762, you're not talking about what you believe, you're talking about what you know to be logical. That's logical. Over at the 5611, you're talking about your experience. That's what you believe. So the 62 says, this is what I know. No, it says, this is what I think. The 56 says, this is what I believe. The 23 says, this is what I know. See why Rod didn't want to be a believer or a thinker? He wanted to be, this is what I know. That's what individuals say. Individuals don't say, I believe. They don't believe. They don't say, I think. They don't think. Individuals, they know.
Incredible.
Rico Baker had the same voice. It's the voice you're listening to, the 23 and me. I don't tell you what I think. I think the same crap the rest of you think. I don't tell you what I believe. I believed a lot of shit I don't believe anymore. I'll tell you what I know. That's the sixth line, objective. Can we suspend belief and stay in objective observation to actually see what there is to see? Nothing gets in the way of the truth more effectively than a belief, or more quickly than a belief. See where my energy comes from? I've been at this a long time. I'm not an expert. An expert is an unknown quantity and asperts a small release under pressure. I'm not one of those. I believe so much shit in my life that I don't believe anymore. I don't believe anything. I observe everything. Well, I used to say all the time, I don't know what I'm going to say until I say it. How many of you that have spoken to me have heard me say that? I don't know what I'm going to say until I say it. I'm surprised by it. I go back and I listen to these things and I say, God almighty, did I say that to someone? And then to discover that it's actually true. So there you go. I mean, you have no idea how much fun it is to tell these stories, but 90% of the stories I tell you are true, and the others are really interesting. Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Oh, what a Sunday. What a Sunday. Yeah. Thank you, Tom, for sharing all of that with us. It's so good. Yeah, we could go on forever, right? And I think it's time for me to get back to Colorado and do some filming with you, Tom, so we can put all those stories again on videos and yeah.
Either that or I come to Shasta. I am after all born on the cross of migration, but I was homeless for 10 years. I had a heart attack. Holy shit, you can survive anything, boys and girls. Believe me, because I have. Ask Bjorn what you can survive. He'll tell you. You'd be astonished what you can survive.
Yeah.
Well, I used to say death is not a time, it's a place, and you don't get off the bus till you get to your bus stop. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Hi, this is Ben. All right. Did you guys enjoy the story that Tom shared with us? Wow, that was awesome. Every time I'm hearing it, I'm just, woo, this is so good. We want more, right? So if you guys enjoyed the story, I would like to invite you to join us in the Hub. Again, that was another Sunday, another Rising Phoenix podcast. Every week we have those gathering in the Hub with all our members
whoever can make it, whoever can show up, you just show up the way you are, and we gather together, we pay attention to the transit, we pay attention to what's going on in the world at the moment. And I'm telling you what, guys, the world is fucking waking up. You know, this is the 63, the sun is in 63, sixth line. We have nostalgia, we have victory. We are sick and tired of the bullshit that we have been fed for the last decades and decades and decades. I can feel it. The world is waking up. Human beings are like, enough. You know, they really are enough of all this nonsense. And it's so exciting. We are sick and tired of the doubts and the confusion that, you know, has been put on us on a collective consciousness when it comes about identity. We want to be sovereign. We are claiming back our sovereignty. Fuck the government, fuck everyone, fuck institution. We want our freedom. We want to be able to make our own decision. We want to be able to be our own authority. That's the cross of dominion that we have at the moment. Who is dominating us? You know, who is on domination? We don't want this anymore. We want to be sovereign. Who am I listening to? I'm listening to my own inner authority. This is the nostalgia of being a free spirit, a free soul in this world, because that's how the world was intended to be. None of this nonsense out there is what it was supposed to be at the beginning. And I can feel it. People are waking up. We're having waves and waves of new soul coming into the hub, paying attention to the sixth line, paying attention of a new way of living. It's not that the other was bad or wrong. No, it's just this is not the way anymore. And like the Mandalorian said it, this is the way. So today, this is the way of the sixth line, and that's where we are going. And if you guys resonate with this, I strongly invite you to join us so you can bring your contribution to the whole, so you can bring your unique voice, your own uniqueness to this hub, to this container, because that's what it is. We are claiming back our spirit. We are claiming back our sovereignty. We are claiming back the peace. We want the love, the peace. You know, we done with the battlefield. No more battlefield, no more battling with one another, no more feeling threatened by one another, no more being defensive constantly and have to react in a very aggressive way when someone says something, when people do something. No, this is just done, gone. We don't want this anymore. We want peace. We want to quit the battlefield. That's the 63-64 hexagram, the sun and earth, the opposition in the wheel, the combination that we have today in the transit. It's a sixth line, and I hope you guys feel it, and I hope you guys really resonate with what's coming, because what's coming, it's huge. It's a beast, and it will come for all of us. Either if you want it or not, even if you like it or not, it will come. It's not something that we have to do. It is coming, it is happening, it is here and now. The rising phoenix, the sleeping phoenix, it is here and now. So I hope you're ready, because we are, and we are extremely excited. So if you guys again want to join, you know, give a thumbs up to the video, give some credit to Tom, leave comments below, please. The more you comment, the more the algorithm put the videos up front. The more you put some likes, the more, you know, he put Tom on the stage. He is a man of heart. He gave us so much every day. He's an incredible person. He went through a hell of a shit for the last decade, and I'm so glad I met him, and I can put a stage for him, and I can bring, you know, all this opportunity for him. That is the right call. I'm calling him, and it's amazing. So if you guys like and enjoy what he's sharing, thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting him. Thank you for supporting us in the hub. Thank you for all your attention, and we are so glad. We want to give back to you. We want to give everything that we can. You know, we really want to give back our knowledge, our presence, our aura, our vibration. We want to help you to succeed. We want to help you to be happy, to feel tremendously happy and joyful and aligned with your spirit. We would like for you to experience a vibrational match with your own vibration of abundance. That's what we want in the hub. This is why the HUB27 is. The 27 is the nourishment, and we want to nourish the new way, who be the human being. That's what we want. That's what the hub is all about, is to nourish you, to nourish the new way, filled with abundance and satisfaction and peace and success and surprise. So if you guys are resonating with that, if you feel it deep into your being, into your spirit, if you feel it is time for you to tell yourself a new story, to write down a new story, to let go the old, to let go the mind, controlling your life, trying to be in charge, if you're ready, because what's ready for you, it's here, it's waiting for you to be ready. So if you're ready to match, to broadcast, to put out this vibration, we are here waiting. The business of waiting as a generator. We are giving you something to respond, something that is valuable. It's for you. Would you like to have it? Would you like to change? Would you like to live your life according to your terms? Would you like to be satisfied, at peace? Would you like to be seen and recognized? Would you like to fulfill your purpose? Would you like to finally be able to walk on earth as a sovereign human being, expressing the beauty of what it means to be you, only you? Would you like to see your own movie, like Ross said? Welcome to the Enlightened Selfishness School. Unlike yourself, be selfish, be yourself, and love yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the hub again. This is exciting. Alright, bye for now.